Hello students, welcome to e-learning. We are going to start today with the chapter 5, that is poverty. So let's start with this. So first lecture will be, the topics will be introduction, meaning of poverty and nature of poverty. So these are the few topics which we are going to take today. Now let's start with the introduction. When you hear the word poverty, what does the word first thing comes in your mind? Poverty means, we can say, it is like a state of people where they cannot earn basic necessary things, or they are the poor peoples which comes under the poverty. So here it says that it is a situation existing in the economy. It is where you find that one class means it is not the all the class, but it is the one class which has been targeted, and they are not able to satisfy their basic necessary things. So they are coming under the poor category, and they are known as below poverty or under poverty. So this is what you find it. So we have the three class of people, or we can say we have the mostly two class, rich class and the poor class. So you find that poor class of people comes under the poverty because they does not able to earn the necessary things, whereas the rich class people or the high class people, they have the every necessary things, and they have the good standard of living. Why it so happen in the economy that there are poor peoples and we can say there are rich peoples? Because of income inequality. So major reason is income inequality. Because of that, you find that the poor people are not able to satisfy their basic needs, whereas rich people are going with the comfort and very comfort luxurious life. So because of income inequality distribution, you find that this particular thing has been going on in every economy. It is not in only our economy, but it is in all the economy. Now mostly it has been seen in the developing countries, because developed countries there is a reduction of poverty, or we can say income inequality, everything. As we have already studied the chapter 2, that is economic development and economic growth. So you find here that this poverty situation is occurring in the developing countries. So here most of the developing economies, like large portion of poor people cannot satisfy the healthy life, because there is an unavailability of minimum requirement. Like what are the things which is not there? That is nutritive foods, then clothes, then proper housing. So these are the three basic necessary where every individual should have. It is not been satisfied in the developing countries, and because of that the majority of the people are poor, and they are called as below poverty or under poverty line. So this is how you find that poverty is been there. Now here you find again that why it is so. Because of that you find that there is much, because of income inequality, there is much amount of hatred, restlessness towards the rich people by the poor people. Because of that they have the good luxurious life, whereas the poor people is having uh, below, or they cannot satisfy basic requirement, or below poverty line they are coming up. So they have the hatreds and restlessness and everything towards the rich people. By who? By the poor people. Chalo. So they are not able to satisfy three things, that is nutritious food, clothes, proper housing. Because of that they are coming under poverty. Now let's go with the second topic, that is the meaning of poverty. So what does the meaning says? The meaning says the same thing: a situation where major portion of people, or we can say major portion of population, cannot even satisfy the minimum requirement, and they are called as poor people. So those cannot satisfy the daily wages, or daily how much food is being required, that means that is also not consumed by them, and that is also not purchased by them, that is not earned by them. That particular situation or that particular part is called as what? Poverty. Now we spend, like, these are the poor peoples who are staying on the roadside, or the street sides, or different we can say temple, mosque, or different religious places. Those peoples are coming under poverty. There again some of the peoples are also there which are coming, like, they are compared to the, they are good enough, but they are coming still in the poor, because their daily consumption is not been satisfied. Though they are living in the house, but their daily consumption is not satisfied. That type of things, that type of situation is also called as poverty. So here this has been there. Then after you find that uh, there are, this poverty has been divided into two parts. You find the traditional meaning, which is known as income poverty, and modern meaning, which is known as non-income poverty. So what, just look with the concept of this traditional poverty. What is traditional poverty? It says here, just a second. So traditional meaning is been up, or we can say income poverty is it is a normative minimum level of per capita consumption expenditure required to a certain minimum basic requirement or basic needs and service is called poverty line. So you find that when a people does not able to attain this minimum, that is called poverty, but when they attain this particular minimum basic needs and services, so they are called as on the poverty line, or they are above the poverty line. So those, for them, measuring rod is poverty line. So what they try to think that on the basis of income, if this much income is not earned by the person in a particular day, for example, suppose, like, let's take, if suppose at current stage, if rupees 150 or 150 rupees is not earned by a person per day, they can be called as under poverty. So this is how you find that justification is being done, those person who are coming under poverty or not, it is on the basis of income. So here the traditional meaning or the income poverty says that a certain normative minimum level of per capita income consumption should be there, that consumption expenditure should be required, and that should be fulfill the basic needs and service of the poor people. And if it has been justified or it has been fulfilled, you find that they are coming, or they are, that particular minimum line is called poverty line. And those who are, can attain this, they come under they come above poverty line. Now this is according to the income definition. Okay, then comes your, you find that what is the different point here. It says poverty is a state of scarcity. Yes, why it is called a state of scarcity? What is scarcity? Scarcity means lack of things. So here you find that in poverty also, people are does not having proper nutritive foods or housing facility or income, so that they can fulfill their basic necessary. That's why it is called as what? Poverty is a state of lackness or scarcity of basic requirement goods. So here you find that all the people who have less or required income, or spend less than the required minimum expenditure, are said to be poor, as compared to the how much should be spent per day. If the people are spending less than that particular consumption expenditure per day, then also they are coming under poverty line. So this is what it is called as, it is a state of scarcity. They are having lack of monies or lack of income, that they cannot fulfill their basic needs. Then comes your the point, that is poverty is not only a situation of starvation. Here, what is starvation? भूख मारी थी मरी गए थे लोग. So you find that poverty is not a situation of starvation. Here another concept says that in the India, poverty line is defined. Yes, we have the poverty line in India, and you find that the minimum consumption required of calories also is there. It is not on the basis of money, but it is also depends upon the consumption. So how much minimum requirement of calories are there, and that is been spent as expenditure, so that for consumption expenditure, we can say they are been coming under the poverty. But here you find that the limitation is that this, it shows only the non ability of food. Other things also matters, like we can see quality of education, healthy life, health, all these particular things, standard of living, everything is been measured under the poverty, which is not measured in the traditional concept. So you find that there is a choice, freedom of choice, all that particular some of the things which are not included here. It is only talking about the income and the consumption of food. But there are other concepts also where it can be said under poverty. There it so happen, like you find that poverty, the definition of poverty change from time to time or situation to situation. So there are different types of poverty also. But here we have to understand, in the income poverty, it only depends on the money and the minimum calorie consumption. Whereas there is a second situation, which is, that is, we can say, modern meaning of poverty. So let's go with the modern meaning. You find that modern meaning of poverty or non-income poverty, here it says the broader meaning here talks about that income should not be a sole. So main income should not be the sole measuring rod for deprivation, or we can say the lackness. Deprivation means the lackness, or we can say loss of that particular thing. But important elements in the human life, what is the, for human life, what is been important? You find that knowledge is there. Second is long and healthy life. Third is good standard of living. Fourth, you find individual freedom, then ability of opportunities. A life with choices and self-respect should be considered. So all these things also matters and it should be coming up. So it comes under non-income poverty. So a person should not only judge on the basis of income, but he should be, we have to look out for that person is having knowledge, healthy, wealthy life, we can say good living, good standard of living, individual freedom is there or not, how many opportunities are available from them as per his knowledge and we can say talent and skills, then what the life he chooses up, how the self respect is been there for him. So all these factors also matters and we need to go with looking this particular thing in the modern concept of, we can say, modern meaning of poverty. I hope you are being clear. So that's why it is called non-income poverty. Here income is not been taken up any time, whereas in the traditional the income is been taken up. So this is what you find that non-income poverty is all about. Then comes the UNDP. You find that as per the UNDP report of HDI and HPI, you find that there are three parameters which has been considered. First is knowledge, where it is called as literacy rate or literacy ratio. Second is health, that is life expectancy, and you find that standard of living, that is per capita income. So these are the three factors which they consider, and on the basis of that you try to file if this particular three things are not available to the people, then they are coming under the poverty line. You find that HDI means human development index, whereas HPI means human poverty index. Okay, remember HPI means human poverty index. So this is as per the UNDP report. So you find that these are the two meanings, different meanings or different concept of poverty which we have to understand with the help of, we can say, income poverty and non-income poverty, that is traditional meaning and modern meaning of poverty. I hope you have been clear with this. Now let's go with the next point, that is nature of poverty. So nature of poverty is also called as types of poverty. So you find there are two types. First is absolute poverty and second is relatively poverty. What is absolute? Absolute means exact poverty. Now yeah, exact poverty talks about, like, you find that population, it is on the same meaning, that population having income or expenditure below the poverty line, that is the minimum consumption line or consumption expenditure which we have to calculate, and those person who are earning less than that poverty line, they are said to be as we can say absolute poverty or we can say complete poverty. I hope you are being clear with that. So those people cannot attain minimum wages or standard wages for requirement for minimum consumption, and those people are coming under poverty, and they are also known as absolute poverty or complete poverty. What is called as relative poverty? Now relative poverty, it talks about the income inequality existing in the different groups of people living in a society is considered. Now for example, if I say, if you are living a society and you find you in a society, there are different class of people, different family peoples are running are different. So you find that suppose there are three families living together, just for example. So one family is earning more than we can say more than 3 lakh per year, second family is earning more than 5 lakh per year, and third family is earning nearly 8 to 10 lakhs per year. So you find here that the first which family which I told, they are earning nearly 3 lakh rupees, so they are poor compared to the second and third class of people or third family. So this is what you find, that there is the income is called relatively poor as compared to the society, those the first family is earning less. So when there is a comparison of groups or comparison of people or a family from one person to another person in a society, that time we can say it is coming under relative poverty. So always remember, relative poverty is the comparison with the different groups of people or different class of income earners, whereas absolute poverty means those person who are cannot able to earn or their expenditure is not able to match with the poverty line or it is less than the poverty line, then that particular population is coming under complete poverty or we can say absolute poverty. I hope you have been clear with this. So next class we are going to learn with this both the concept in detail. I hope you have been getting exactly what I'm telling you. If you find any doubt, difficulty, just call or message me about this. You need to write down the notes as I'm sending you. So I will be sending you the PDF also. So you just go with that particular points. I hope you have been clear. Thank you.